So if you guys promise to be really quiet when he brings it around and all stay in your seats, then he can bring it around. Yeah. Garter snakes, the name comes from when, like, you know, old times, like back before, because like our socks now, see, they've got elastic, so it's kind of like a rubber band. But before they didn't have that, they were just pieces of material. So men, when they would wear socks, they would have these ropes that they would tie onto their socks, so it would hold their socks up. And someone thought the garter snake looked like that. So it's not a garden snake, it's a garter snake, because it looks like those straps that they use to hold on their socks. It's a reptile. So you know how amphibians were cold-blooded and the turtles were cold-blooded? This is also a cold-blooded animal, meaning it can't regulate its body temperature. So it has to go out in the sun when it's cold, go into the shade when it's hot. They have scaly bodies. They're the most widespread snake in the U.S. So they live in almost every state. Garter snakes are omnivorous. So what so garter snakes are ovoviviparous. Can you guys say it? I had to look it up this morning because I couldn't say it. Ovoviviparous. Can you guys say that? Yep. Ovoviviparous. So what that means is they lay eggs inside their belly. So and the eggs hatch inside there, and then the snakes come out. So they don't give live birth. But there's other snakes. There's viviparous and oviparous. Oviparous is egg layers. So snakes that lay eggs. Viviparous is live birth. So ovoviviparous is a combination of the two. It does both. So garter snakes are ovoviviparous. They got eggs and they give live birth. They give birth to 4 to 80 young, 80 babies at the same time. Between late July and October. They live 3 to 5 years. One thing about them, their skin doesn't grow. So it's like your clothes. So if you kept your clothes on all the time, well, your clothes would get really dirty, and no one would like to look at you. But their skin doesn't get dirty like that. But their skin can't grow. So every so often, when the snake grows, the skin is squeezing it so tight it can't move around good. It's just so it'll shed its skin. I think I've got a shed in here. Yeah. So this is a shed that the skin shed. It crumples it up and turns its skin inside out, and then a new skin will grow underneath it, and then it'll take its skin off, and then it can grow more. And then again, when its skin gets too small, it'll grow again. It'll shed it again. Shedding also removes like parasites and like mold and stuff that might grow on the snake as it's moving around. They eat worms, slugs, leeches, snails, small fish, amphibians, other snakes. They eat like a lot of things. Anything that they can basically fit in their mouth. One thing I think about these that is really cool is they're actually venomous. This is a venomous snake. It's a venomous snake, but it can't do harm to you because the way it injects its venom is it's like a rattlesnake. It's got fangs and it'll bite into you and then it'll get it in you. But the garter snake, it's in its saliva, so it has to chew and chew and chew and chew and chew and chew to be able to get the saliva with the little bit of neurotoxin in you. But the toxin isn't very dangerous. It only paralyzes a worm. That's about how bad it is. So if somehow it would be able to actually get you, it would just feel a little bit like an itch. Yeah, flies might be a little too fast and they fly. This one probably wouldn't because he's so small. But as they get bigger, yeah, they are kind of... You never want to pick up a snake until you know what it is because we do have a couple venomous snakes in Wisconsin. They're pretty rare, but we do have them. There's something else that's cool. They'll eat toads, like I brought in a couple days ago, and they'll eat newts. And when they eat that, it stays, the poison from the newt or toad stays in their body, and so then if you eat it, it'll actually give you the poison too. So they're actually poisonous and venomous. There's another thing. Let's see here. I've got a picture of it. See this? Here, there's a tongue. Do you see, guys? See the tongue on the snake here? And if you look closely at this snake, you'll see it flicking out its tongue. So that tongue, it's like its nose. It's trying to smell. It's smelling everything that is around it. So it flicks out its tongue. It collects little particles on the air. That's how we smell stuff. And then it collects those on its tongue, and then it brings it back into its mouth, and it touches it to the roof of its mouth. On the roof of its mouth, it's got a special organ called a Jacobson's organ. And that organ will read all of those smells, and it'll tell the snake where everything is, where you are, where its food might be, where danger might be. And so then the snake can use that. But its tongue can't actually smell. So if God didn't make the Jacobson's organ and the tongue, it would be useless. The tongue, it can't taste with its tongue. So if it sticks its tongue into like honey or something, it wouldn't be able to taste it until it brought it back into its Jacobson's organ. They use their scales to slide, to grip on the ground, so that they can slither and slide on the ground. They're also really good swimmers. So here's a picture of them swimming. They actually love water, and they love to climb trees. Let's see. One thing that's really cool about garter snakes is if they feel scared, they'll secrete it's like a substance that it gets all over your hands, and it really makes it stink bad. Have you had that happen to you? Yeah. In Isaiah 43, all week I'll be talking about the verse that you guys have been learning. So in Isaiah 43, it says, when we pass through the waters, God will be with us. I didn't expect to see the garter snake swimming. It surprised me. It made me laugh. God is with you always, wherever you go. Up a tree, through the water, He is just like He's with the garter snake. Do I have time for questions, or should I do them afterwards?
Maybe afterwards.
Okay, so if you guys have more questions, I'm going to have him out at the back, and then you can answer then I'll answer your questions there. And one more thing. Make sure you look closely at all the creatures God has made, and you'll learn so much about the God who loves you.